Alright, g'day, hi and welcome. Okay, let me show you what's going on here. So, after losing a bolt, which I found, always have a catch base, and I nearly lost one of these, and trust me, Volvo Penta 50 in North America, finding that kind of metric bolt from the 70s, chances are made out of unobtainium. Might find it in Europe, but you probably won't find it here. So, dry. Look, I got water in here, which is a good sign. Now that water probably came in via that doodader there, so my flushing system. The impeller was a little bit wet. I got the impeller sitting over there. We'll look at that in a second. And there appears to be water in here on the other side of the O-ring, which is good. This is what I'm going after. But doesn't necessarily mean my impeller is working, but it does tell me that the flushing system I'm using is working. The top of the tube is bone dry. Nothing. Ow! I gotta get out of the mosquitoes here. Top of the tube is bone dry. Nothing at all. And I know these channels are all clear. The hose is wet. Inside of the hose is wet. The impeller, a little bit shredded on the bottom, but otherwise it's a good seal. It should be working, but maybe that impeller is just enough done just enough that it doesn't work. So I'm probably going to buy another impeller anyway. I know it takes a long time for the water to go through the system. Maybe I'm not flushing it right. What I did last year, and I didn't do this year, because I only run it for about maybe 10-20 seconds at a time, because I didn't know if I was going to cook my impeller. But the fact that the impeller is wet is good, but I don't know if it's that this little seal here is done and there's water leaking in and the impeller's still not working, or, which this seal seems to be good, so there's no reason why it's not doing its job. And again, there's water on the inside when I took it off, so that meant there was water in there anyway. So if the impeller was working, then it should be good, but I still have that other problem where maybe I didn't line it up there properly enough, but there still should be water, should be all soaking wet on the top in there. And it clearly isn't. It clearly is bone dry in there. So because it's bone dry in there, what that's telling me is that the water isn't, if it was coming out this top tube, okay, it would be splashing everywhere unless it's lined up. But even if it was lined up, yeah, it might still be dry in there. But the rubber, I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not, but yeah, right there, that rubber channel right there is bone dry as well. And that's what brings it up into the engine. And there is no water on that. So even if I was misaligned, there'd be water all on the inside. If I was lined up, that channel would be definitely soaking wet. Oh, I love inboards. So, so either it's I can't see an impeller being that finicky, but I do understand that it would have to maintain a certain RPM to get enough water flowing, but it should flow right away. I mean, it's not one of those things that you need like 5,000 RPM to get water going through. It should do it at idle. So it's vacuuming probably enough to get into the chamber, but it's not vacuuming enough to come out the top. So that pretty much leaves you with the impeller is done, even though it doesn't look like it's done. It is wet. Like there's the reason why I could tell it's wet is because you can see it's just wet. You can see the glisten off of it. So water got in there, but what I don't know is, did the water get past this little O-ring seal, or was it actually working? There's no other way to really test an impeller, but both channels seem to be wet, so this channel and that channel, but it doesn't seem like anything went through at all, so the water's not pushing through. Oh boy, yeah, so I'll work on that. I'll probably see if I can find one of these things. It's probably going to be a needle in a haystack to find, but anyway, it's all the messing around I'm going to do with the boat today. Yeah, I really can't figure this thing out. Really can't figure, like, it can only work one way, so it should be working. It's like, work, damn you, work. But I'll figure it out eventually, but I don't know. Outboards are really looking attractive right now. Anyway, I'll leave it at that.